Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is HashirVani and this is going to be a structural masterclass. This particular masterclass is going to be for the people who have been away from structural BIM modeling and may have to recapitulate all the things that we do here in BIM modeling. In this particular work class, we're going to be studying the structure. We're going to be covering a wide range of topics, starting with how do we collaborate between the different teams that we have in our BIM model, how do we copy monitor all the different things from different particular systems. For example, if we have our architecture system here, how do we copy monitor all the grids and levels from that particular file, how do we link that architecture model to our structural model, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving into the structural elements such as our beams, our columns, our beam systems, our braces, our steel connections. Then we're going to be studying all the steel connection modeling, then we're going to be studying the reinforcement slash rebar modeling, then we're going to be studying all the bar bending schedules, how do we create those schedules, then we're going to be studying the structural trusses, then we're going to be taking a particular look at a particular project, how do we read all the drawings that have been submitted to us, and then we're going to be exporting that particular project into robust structural analysis and do all the structural analysis there. So first of all, let me show you how to open an architecture structural template. We're going to be going to new and then going to be browsing this particular template. For example, I'll go to, if I want imperial, if I want feet and inches, I'm going to be going to this English imperial, and then I'm going to be going to this structural analysis default and then clicking OK and then clicking OK. So this is my default structural template. Let it load. There are some differences from the architectural templates. Can you see an analytical model here? With each particular level we have some analytical model also created. We have our analytical model here in 3D views as well. So what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to be linking my architectural file. Why do I do that? Because sometimes I don't want to create all the grids and levels from scratch. I simply can copy monitor them from my architectural model. What I'm going to be doing here is going to insert here, or if you can link the model here, or you can simply go to your manage tab here and then go to manage links and then add your particular link here. For example, I want my architecture link. What I'm going to be doing is going to my desktop, and then I have my architecture link in my BRC folder maybe. Yes, then here is my architecture link, and I'm going to be opening this link, and this link has been opened. Here you can see the link and you can click OK here. Can you see all the links? But I'm not able to select any of these grids. Can you see if I hover near any of the links, this whole link gets selected, but I'm not able to select the individual elements. For example, I'm not able to select this particular grid or these elements here. What I'm going to be doing for this is I'm going to be going to my collaborate tab here and going to be copy monitor and then select this particular link. I'm going to be expanding this tab, and then what I'm going to be do is I've selected all these links, and then I'm going to go to the copy tab here and click multiple here, and then what I'm going to be doing is selecting all the grids, the horizontal and the vertical grids, and I'm make sure all the grids have been selected here, and go to finish and then finish here again. Let it load, and then what I'm going to be doing is copy monitor here and then go to finish again. So now I'm able to select these particular grids, and for levels I'm going to go into any of the elevations here, and then what I'm going to be doing, I'm still not able to select any of these levels here. What I'm going to be do is go to copy monitor and then select this link again here, and then go to copy monitor here and then go to multiple here and then select all of these. Can you see all of these levels here, and then make sure all the levels have been selected. Yes, only the levels have been selected, and then I'm going to go to finish here and then go to finish here as well. Can you see my my levels have been created? Can you see here? I'm not able to see them here. What I'm going to go is go to visual graphics and go to Revit links. I'm going to be closing this link here and then go to OK. Can you see I have some levels. What I'm going to be doing is go close these levels and delete these levels. Okay, so no views have been created here. What I'm going to be doing now is go to my view tab here and then go to plan views and then go to floor plans and then select all of these and then go to OK, and now all my floor plans have been created, but the analytical views have been deleted. At the end, I'm going to show you guys how to turn on these analytical links for these particular floor plan levels. So now what I'm going to be go to is go to visibility graphics VG, and then go to Revit links, and then turn my internship architecture link off. And now all my all my grids and levels have been copied to my structural template. Now what if somebody in the architecture model moves this particular link? So how will be able to see those things? So what I'm going to be doing here is go to the collaborate tab. Can you see the collaborate tab here? Then coordination review. If any of this I'm going to be turning off my turning on my Revit link first of all, and then if anybody changes any things, we're going to be able to see them here. There will be a message here. You can approve them, you can reject them, all the things that you can do. For example, if he moves this particular grid by a factor of, let's say, 1 feet, you can see here that grid 21 has been moved by 1 feet. You can simply just accept it, reject it, and there are some other options that you may be able to do after that. And I'll click cancel here. For now, what I'm going to be doing now is, let's close this architectural link now, VV, and then I'm going to be going to Revit links and then simply close it. Now let us we have some settings that we have to do. We can simply just drag it to the side here, and then same with this, move this here, and then same with this, move this here. So this is nice and center. Now let us see what we have in our structural tab. Here we have our I-beams, we have our walls, we have columns, we have floors, we have trusses, braces, beams, etc., connections, isolated footings, some slabs as well, some rebar, some areas, some fabric area, etc., etc. We have some general settings here as well. So now let us do one thing. Let us start with our structural items that we have. So guys, first of all, I hope that you guys can you guys are able to understand me, because the pace of this video is going to be quite fast, because this is going to be a recapitulatory masterclass. So what I'm going to be doing is, let's take a column. Here we have two types of columns. Here we have rectangular, we have a concrete column, and we have our steel column here. We have our I column here. So if you want to import some other types of columns, we can go to load a family, and then we have our AutoCAD library. We can go to columns here, structural columns, and then we have our concrete columns. Here you can see all the types of columns that are available. We have some precast columns, we have some steel columns, we have wood columns. We can see the precast column. Here you can see the preview here, and then if I want to place this column, for example, let's go to this type of column. We can edit the breadth and the height of this column here as well. We click OK here, and then we can simply place this column on the grids or anywhere we want. For example, I'll place this here. But what happens is, if I want I can place them individually at each grid. But what I can do here is go to this grid option, add grids options, and I'll zoom out and I'll select all the grids. Can you see? I'm not able to select them now. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to be selecting from the top right to the bottom left, and then I'll click finish. So the columns have been created at every single grid intersection. Now if I want, what I can do here is make sure I'll click escape once, and then I'll select all the columns, and I'll go to filter and make sure the structural columns have been selected. I'll make sure that the base offset is 0 and the top offset is 0, and the top level is level second. The base level should be top of concrete floor. Now I can go to 3D here. Can you see here that we have 3D, and then these columns have been created. I'll do one thing. Here I go to realistic or some shaded. Can you see? I'm seeing some of the elements in my Revit links. I'll go to VV, make sure the Revit links is turned off here, and can you see all the columns have been created at the grid intersections. Now you have to make sure that each and every individual column, the justification should be base level should be level 0, and the top level should be whatever level you want. Now the next thing that we have, we'll go to top of we go to top of concrete slab. We'll make sure the Revit link is off here, and then you can see all the columns here. You can go and click shaded here, and then click fine here if you want, And now let's go to our beams. Similarly, we have two types of beams: concrete beams, and we have hollow beams, and we have W sections, etc, etc. If we want to load any other types of beam, we could go here in the load families. Let's select concrete beam. So now I click this particular beam. If I want to edit some the breadth and the height of this particular beam, I can go here and edit them here. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going to any of the elevations. First I'm going to be checking what the height of this particular level is. So it is at 13 feet. Can you see the top, the starting point? From the starting point to the top point, it is 13 feet. So top of the second floor, live slash work. I'll go back to my concrete slab, and then what I'm going to be doing is going to be selecting the beam and then selecting this point and then this point. Now I'll click escape once and I'll select this beam. Can you see the start level is at 0, so and the end level is at 0. This means that the start level is the first point, the end level means the second point. If I can go in the 3D and move around so you guys can see this. So this is the first point, this is the start level, this particular point. Can you see this sort of blue bubble here? And the second one is this one, the end level. So since this is 0, it is placed at the bottom of this particular column. Now if I want it, this particular sort of bubble, to be on the top of this beam, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be selecting 13 feet here. Can you see this particular side of this beam has been attached to this the top of this particular column. Now I'll select the same for this 13 feet. So now we can see this beam has been attached to the top of this column, and sort of has been merged. Now what I want sometimes is I'll go top of, I'll close this one, and what I want is I want to place all the beams on all the things. I'm not able to see this beam. Why? Because maybe our visibility settings has been turned off. Can we see? So one thing that we need to learn is in this structure you can see beam here, but it is named as structural framing beam. Can you see? If I hover near this beam, it has been named as framing. So whenever you want to search a beam or anything in our visibility settings or in our load categories, you make sure that you search as a framing. I'll go to VV and then I'll go to model categories. I'll go to F. Can you see? Let us see if I can find not here. Maybe our range has been, yeah. So I'll select the range as let us say 15 feet. 15 feet of offset. This I'll select as 15 feet, and let us select it as unlimited, and then let's select it as unlimited. Click OK. Now you can see the beam. Now what I want, I'll delete this beam. I'll go delete here and I'll go to beam here again, and I'll select the first beam. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create this beam on grids. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to select all the particular grids, and then this beam, the beam will be created at the intersection of these grids. Can you see sort of a shadow has been appeared? This shadow shows us where the beams will be created. So there is no intersection between this grid and this grid, so no beam will be created between these 2 points. I'll click finish, and I'll make sure let it finish. It's taking a little bit time, guys. Okay, so they have been created. I'll click escape once, and then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be selecting all the beams, and then go to filter here and make sure. Can you see here? There are no beams here, but there are structural framing. So in Revit, the beams have been named under structural framing. I'll click OK here, and I'll make sure these the start level is at 13 feet, and the end level and offset is also at 13 feet. 13 feet, right? Now let's wait a minute. And they've been created. I can go to 3D view, and can you see all the beams and all the columns have been created. So next option that we are going to be seeing here is our isolated footings. So if I have a particular beam here, so we have if I want to create a particular isolated footing for this particular, let's say this particular column, what I can do is I can simply drag and click left click on this, and the sort of footing will be created. I'll go to structure, and then but sometimes what I want is sometimes I can do what I can do here is, I want the footings. I can simply click escape once, escape, and then I'll go to isolated footings. Can you see add grids here? Let's create I can create all the columns at grids. Can you see? I'll select I'll go to left top right, and then select all these things and go and finish them. Can you see all the sort of isolated footings have been created? But sometimes what I need is, I don't need some isolated footings in this particular area. What I can do is go to escape, I'll go here, and I'll simply delete these things. Let's delete them. I don't want any. Can you see there are still columns here, but I don't want the sort of footings in this particular area. What I can do here is, let us select all of them, and then make sure that our grids, columns and structural frames have been turned off, and I'll just delete them, delete all of them, and then go to footings here, isolated footings, and then add columns. Now what I can do is, if I want, I can select all the columns, or I can select the particular columns that I want these footings to be created on. So what I can do is, can you see, I let go of my mouse button, drag, and then these footings have been created. I'll go to finish, and now I can create individual footings on this. Can you see, this way you can create all the footings. Now sometimes what happens is, we have our, let's take a look at three-dimensional view first of all, so you can see. Can you see footings have been created here, 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 here. If I want all the footings to be created all, then I can go and place it on grids. Now sometimes, let's see, we can go to architecture here, and then or structure here, and we have some structural walls. Can you see architectural wall, structural wall? We go to structure here, and then let's create some walls. Let's say, for example, in this particular grid we have some walls. So now I can go to a structure, and then we have some wall footings here. Can you see? I hover near this and then select this, and the wall footing has been created. Now one thing that I need to make sure you guys understand is, let's show you here, the wall footing has been created. Maybe my wall hasn't been on the right level. I'll make sure, click on this, I'll click on this wall. Can you see the base offset here is I'll make sure the top of level is the second floor, and this is top level concrete slab, and then I'll just get rid of this base offset, and now it has been created at the proper orientation. Now if you want some custom columns, custom beams, or custom isolated footings, what you can do is, we can go to file here, you can go to new here, we can go to families, and then can you see, we can go to our English Imperial, and then we have our column family here. Can you see column family here? You can create all the custom columns here, you can create all the structural framings here, structural foundations here, etc, etc. But one thing that you can't create here is this particular wall footing. If you want to create a custom wall footing, you can go and use this option here called as model in place, and then you can go here and do all the things that you can create here. So next thing that we're going to be studying is, can you see this beam has been incorrectly placed? I'll select control, can simply select all the things that we want, and can start offset is 13 feet, and the end offset is also 13 feet, and I'll select 0 here and click apply, and then this has been made at the correct orientation and correct position. So this way you can create all the RCC structures and structural elements, all the things that you can create. Now I'll show you a file so that you may understand how to read the drawings. So in this particular assignment, you can see all the footings, they have been renamed as F, and all the columns have been renamed as C, C1, C2, C3 and C4, and all the dimensions have been given here, and all the grid layouts and grid dimensions have been also given. So if we scroll down, we can see all the dimensions here. Here we can see all the column dimensions. Can you see the center line to the extreme line has been given here. I can go to the beams. The beams have been renamed as tb1, tb2, tb3, etc, etc, and then you can create the beams in this orientation and make sure that the floor level has been correctly identified. And then we have some schedules here. Can you see, this is the footing schedule, this is the beam schedule, and this is the foundation schedule. All the sizes have been given here, and accordingly you can create a particular model according to the project. So guys, now I think this is enough recapitulation for our concrete columns. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be selecting all the things here, and I'm going to be deleting it, because let's work with our steel columns now. I'll check none, and then check all, and then uncheck the grids here and go to OK, and just simply delete them. And now what I'm going to be doing here is going to the structural tab and then go to the beams. Can you see we have our I sections here. What is this 10? This means the weight. You can check whatever the things we have. You can check all the nominal weight, etc, perimeter, sectional area, etc here. And now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing these beams here. Can you see? Let's first of all create the columns. Let's create this columns. Let's go to I section here. Can you see a sort of an I has been created here? Go here, and then I can also do is place them on grids. I can simply select it, select a particular sort of, let's say this much area I want. Let's do one thing. Let's do it on these particular grids only. So what I'm going to be doing is select this particular grid here. Okay, I'm going to be finishing them like this, and they have been created. Let's make sure they are on the correct level. They are not. I'll click escape. I'll select all them and go to filter here. I'll select structural columns, and I'll make sure the offset is here 0, and then the okay, I'll select the first of all I have to select the top level. Let's say top of the second floor, and then concrete slab here, and then select 0 here, and then they will be created at the correct level. Now what I'm going to be doing is creating some beams here. I'm going to go to beam, and now you can go to top of concrete slab, and I can simply just drag a beam and create a beam in any particular orientation. But now what I want to show you guys, you can see the beam here. Go to 3D, you can see the beam has been created. Is it created? It is created at the wrong level. I can simply go here and give, let's say 12 feet here, let us say 12 feet here. It has been created. But now what I want, I'll simply delete this beam right now. I'll go to top of concrete slab. I want to show you another thing, that is can you see, go to structure here, and we have some beam system here. Can you see beam system? I'll select on this, and now I'll select a particular system of columns, and what I'm going to do is I can go to this option here, and I'll select this one. I'll select a particular boundary, click escape once, take this, and then take this here. I'll go to beam direction. Can you see these particular parallel lines? It shows the beam direction. This means the beams will be created in this particular direction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to selecting this particular direction now, and then we have our just layout rule here. It is fixed distance. I'm going to be selecting the fixed distance and going to be selecting 6 feet. Let's say the beam should be at 3 feet distance. It is the distance between the beams. I'll select done, and the beams have been created at a distance of 3 feet. Now what I can do here is Control Z. Now I select a number. If I want now by number, I want to create, let's say 4 beams in this particular go here and click 4 here. I want 4 beams in this particular layout. What I can do is simply click 4 here, and then 4 beams have been created. I can see these particular beams here. I can simply go and then adjust the level and the elevation that I want. Control Z now for now, and I'll go here and I'll select fixed distance, and then let us say 3 feet, and I'll just apply it. I'll click ticket here, and then what I can do here is if I select any one, all the system will get created. I'll click it. I'll click this once. Can you see? I can select the individual beams as well. What I can do here is go to the system. Go to the sort of system, and then give it an elevation of 12 feet. So then this will be at the correct orientation. Now what I want to show you guys is the next thing that I want to show you guys is a sort of, let's say, slab. Do we have some slabs here? In structure we have some slabs. This basically works as a floor. just the way you created your floors. Simply we can create some slabs here as well. I'll click OK and then go to 3D. Can you see this has been created? Let's say we give it an offset, or simply you can change the level here. Top of second floor, this can be, now these sort of clashes, we're not going to be dealing with them. The next thing that we're going to be studying here is let's say we have our brace systems here. Can you see when I click on base systems, the structural framings or beams get activated. We'll click turn on our 3D snapping. We'll simply click this one and then go sort of here and then create a new brace sort of like this. So by this way you can create a brace. Can you see there are no connections between them, they are simply overlapping with each other. We can create the structural connections as well. We'll learn them a little bit later. What I can do, I can click escape once and then select this particular and then control and select this particular as well. Go to the top of the concrete slab and then go to copy and then select this particular grid. Now I can simply do this as well. Wherever I want to place these, I can place all of them accordingly. Can you see all of them have been placed? Now the next thing that I want to show you guys is our connections. Let's make a proper system. First of all, let's go to top of the concrete slab and then let's close the east view. Let's simply select all of them and simply select uncheck, check none, check all, and then check grids. Okay, and then simply delete all of them. Can you see all of them has been deleted? Now what I want is some column. Go to structure, go to column. I'll select I columns here and here. So now what I want, let's make sure I'll just do this, guys, so there is no wastage of time. So guys, what I've done is I've created a simple sort of framing systems. What I can do here is I can zoom in. Can you see there is no connection between them? So how do we give the steel connections here? So can you see, guys, there's a tab here called steel. We can go to steel here and we have some connections here. I can simply click on this and then go to this and then click this and click enter. So there is a general connection has been connected. So what I can do now to see this connection properly, what I can do is go to here and go to wireframe here, and then we have some I'll go to find here. I'll just delete this and do it once again. I'll select this one, I'll click enter, and then I'll select this one, I'll click enter. Sorry, this is something else happening. I'll select connection, I'll select the first one, the control second one, and then click enter. So the general connection has been connected, the connection between them, this sort of, can you see this sort of symbol? This means that there is a general connection. Can you see a general connection? What we want is we want some predefined connection that has been done by the Revit itself, because if we start modeling a particular connection, then we have to start modeling the bolts, etc., the weldings, etc., etc. What we can do here is go to this arrow here, and then let's load it's loading. So sort of this dialog box will appear. Can you see there is a tab here called all connections. Since that we are dealing with beams and columns here, what I'm going to do is select beam and beam column connection here. All the connections that can happen between two steel beams, two steel columns and beam is what I can do is select the first one and select the last one, click shift and select the last one and add all of them to here in the loaded connections area. What this does is it loads all the connections here. Can you see if I select this connection here and then go to generate connections, all the selections have been created. So now what I can do is select the appropriate connection. Can you see if I hover on top of any connection, sort of a preview appears. Accordingly you can select the connection that you seem to be appropriate between these two things. Let me first of all let us see this. If this connection works, I'll simply click on this connection and then sort of wait. The corresponding shortener was created, so it has been created. I'm not able to see it because, let me sort of do one thing. Let us change it to sort of shaded. Can you see a sort of a connection has been created between these two particular beam and column? There are other types of connection that you can also do. I'll select this one. Let us see if some other connection also works. So this sort of connection has been created. Now let us see other connection. This connection, it doesn't work. Sort of let us say if there are other types of connection that may work. not this one, not this one. Let's say if this one works, sort of does, but not completely. So you can give some connections between these particular things as well. So if I have some other sort of things, for example, I want to give beam to beam connections, I can also do that. So for that, what I can do is I can add some connections here. Can you see there are beam end to beam end connections, some bracing connections, some plate add beam ends, etc. So all the connections that we can give between two steel sections. So remember guys, this happens only with steel elements, because the concrete gets monocosted. So make sure that you have selected all the correct I-beams or columns here. One thing, let's create a custom connection here. At the start I showed you how to create a generic connection. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a custom connection between these two. What I'm going to do for that is go to steel and go to plate here and just set the work plane. I'll simply pick a plane here and go to OK, and this boundary gets sort of selected, and then what I can do is draw tool gets activated and click on rectangle here and sort of go to this edge here and create a sort of plate. I'll create an arbitrary plate for now. I can simply also rotate and check whether this has been created up. I'll click escape once and then escape twice, and then I'll simply go and if I want, just arbitrarily do this. You can, if you want to do it perfectly, you can go and go to the section, go to the section tool here, create a section, and then see if this has been perfectly created. I'll click tick option here. Can you see a plate sort of thing has been appearing here? Now I can change the plate material as well here. I can change the thickness. Let's say if I want it let us say 1 inch, and then this gets created. I'll click Ctrl Z for now. I want another plate on this particular beam. What I can do here is I can simply go to hidden line for now, and then I'll go to plate here and I'll set the plane again. Can you see, pick a plane here, okay, and then I'll select this. Can you see there are two types of things that have been highlighted? There's an I section. I simply go down and until I see a line, I'll select this line, and now this sort of plane has been activated. Can you see? Now I can go to the draw tool here and select rectangle here. I'll simply able to do this and create another plate like this. Okay, and I'll do okay, and now I'll click tick here, and then another plate has been created. Now I can change the thickness, coating, etc., the material as well. What I can do now is I'll go to what I can do is I can go to top of concrete. I'll select this one so I'll remember which one. I'll go to top of concrete slab this now. Can you see I'm not able to see this particular plane? So what I do here is go to 3D, select this particular plane, then go to top view and then go to mirror and then select the center line, and then this has been mirrored. If I can go to 3D, can you see? Oh, sorry, where was it? I sort of lost it. Yeah, here. So if I want, I can see whether this has been created on both sides. It hasn't. Has it? No, it hasn't. So I'll try that again. What I can do is select this now, go to top of concrete slab, mirror it across this axis. Let us see if this has been created. Still no. What is the problem? I'll select this, or what I can do is screw that. What I can do is I'll simply create it the way I created the other plane. I'll simply go here, I'll simply select plate, I'll simply go here, go to set the plane, and then I'll pick a plane here and go to here and select this particular line now, and I'll select a plane here. Can you see? I'm able to select this particular plane and create a plane here. I'll select tick option here, and this plane has been created on the both sides. Can you see both sides? The plane has been sort of a plane has been created. Now what I can do is, if I want to connect, if I give the connection, welding connection, all the bolting connection between them, what I can do here is go to steel, and then there's a section here called we go to structure here. Can you see? Sorry, we go to steel here, and then we can see a section here called welds. So I'll select this welds, and then I'll select the first plane, I'll select the second plane, and then I'll click enter, and then this cursor has been changed to a welding sort of gun, and then I can select this particular, wherever I want a weld to be happening on this particular line, I can simply click it, and then this sort of sort of gizmo appears, this means Revit understands it as a weld. Now I can do I can have a weld here, and I'll select the weld again, go to steel, go to welds, where this and select the first one, select the second one, and select enter, and then give a weld here again. I'll rotate sort of, and then I'll go to welds again. Where is the weld? Steel, sort of here welds, and then I'll just select this, select the second, and press enter, and then weld it here again. And I'll do the same thing again, go to steel, go to welds, select the first one, select the second one, and then enter, and then give the weld here as well. So I've done four welding sort of thing. Now this plate has been welded to this plate, and also this plate has been welded to this plate, but they are not welded to the beam itself. So for that, what we can do here is we can go to our steel tab here, and we have our, can you see a bolt section here? We have two types of bolts, anchor, J bolts, etc, etc. For now we can select the bolts here, and then select this one, and then press enter, and then select this one. Sorry, I will click escape once. I'll select the bolts again, select this one, control it, select this one, and then press enter, and then press the beam, and now draw tool has been activated. If I want a central sort of circle sort of pattern with the bolts, I can just select the circle, or I can, if I want a rectangular sort of pattern, I click the rectangle, and now a pattern sort of draw tool appears, and I'll just make this sort of rectangle here, and I'll tick this button here. Now can you see the four bolts have been created? I can change the bolts here, I can change the grade diameter of the bolt here. Let's say I want a smaller bolt, here, can you see? And if I click apply, a smaller bolt has been created. And now if I want the grade, if I want the standard different type of bolt here, for example, I click this one, I'll click a different type of bolt here. Can you see these can be changed? I'll simply go here. If I want a different number of sides, what this does is it can increase or decrease the bolts. For example, if I want 3 here, I'll select 3 here, and then click apply. Can you see 3 bolts have been appeared here? If I want 3 in this particular sort of horizontal sort of orientation, what I can do is I can click 3 here. Can you see? And that sort of row has been appeared here. Now if I want the edge distance, for example, I want this particular bolt to be a particular distance away from this particular edge, what I can change is I can change the edge distance here. I'll give an edge distance of 2 inches here. Can you see the edge distance has been changed to in this particular orientation? Control Z it again, and I'll just select these bolts, and I'll change the edge distance in the sort of horizontal direction. What I can do is I'll give 2 inches here, or let us say 1.5 inches, maybe 1 inches will be okay. 1 inch here, and click apply. Can you see this particular edge distance has been added to 1 inch? What I want is I want to change it to 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, and then apply, and then give an edge distance here of 2 inches maybe. Apply it, and then 2 inches here, apply it. Sort of you can change all the end fiddle out with all the edge distance here. So now control Z it, this is fine, maybe this is fine. Now what I want is I'll change the bolts. These are a little bit bigger bolts than what I want. I'll just change it to EN here, okay, smaller bolts. Now what I want is I have created all the plates, but you won't see them under these connections here. For that, what we can do is we can go to connections, and we can create a generic connection. Select this one, select this one, select this one, and then create a this one, enter. So this I'll select wireframe here. So this sort of generic connection has been created here. Now in order to include this particular orientation of bolts and all the plates into this generic connection, what we can do is go to customize here, and then name our connection. Let's say C1, we'll name it as C1. I'll click OK, and then this sort of a tool appears. And now we want to add particular members into this connection. We can go to add here and simply hold down the control button and select all of them, all the welds, until no element is able to be selected again, and then click finish. Can you see this connection has been sort of made generic now? You can see if I click this connection, can you see this appears as a connection between the other connections that we already have created. So this way you can create a custom connection. And the next thing that we're going to be studying, so guys, next thing that we're going to be studying here is we're going to be taking a look at a little project, sort of you can take that as an assignment. I will show you what it looks like. So here we have an assignment. It's an assignment file. What we have to do here is create some models, some columns, beams and footings, and model the reinforcements of each of the individual structural elements. So we have some general notes. You guys have to go through all these notes. Maybe there is some details, for example, some dimensions here are written, what type of bar or what type of steel we have to use, what type of concrete we have here. Maybe you guys have to take a look through all these general notes, and then can go here. We have some schedules. First of all, let's move down and let's look at the column schedule. So here you can take all the grids. For example, grids are labeled as 1 2 3 4 and then A B C D in the vertical direction, and then we have some plinth beams, we have some footings, and we have some columns here as well. Since this is a foundation layout, this is a plinth beam. Here the PB is written as the PB denotes plinth beams, the F are the footings, and C are the columns. So we move to the next page. Can you see here it is a footing layout. So all the footings are denoted here. F3 are the footing 3, F2 are the footing 2, C here the C denotes the columns, and then next we have column layout here. Can you see all the columns? But you have to be careful. Some of the columns are not placed exactly at the center. They may have some offset. So what you can do here is take this grid and take a detail line here, and then place that particular column on the detail line. We have here as well. Can you see there is some deviation from the grid here as well, and we'll move on to the next page. We have some column sizes here as what type of column size this particular column has, and these particular columns, and C4, C1, C2, etc, etc. And then we have some first for framing plan. So these are the beam plans. The beams are denoted as B18. It is 200 cross 450, sort of like that. And then we have our first floor beam details. So every particular beam here for example, if we take B2 here, it is denoted here. And then where is B2? This is B1, this is B2. Can you see all the detailing about these beams are written here? I'll show you guys how to read these detailing. So for now, just take a look at all these layouts, for foundation layouts. The next thing that we can study here is, can you see this is the footings, isolated footing schedule, where the footings are labeled as F1, F2 and F3, and these are the dimensions. We have D max and D minimum. We have footing sizes here. We have reinforcement details here, and you can see that particular sort of details here. Here we have a section for this particular footing. It is a trapezoidal fitting, and here this distance denotes the minimum. We have D max here, and we have ground level, and we have this particular thing denotes the plinth beam. This is the column bars, etc, etc. And then we have the dimensions for the plinth beam. We have what type of reinforcement we have, how it is labeled, and then we have typical floor plan for this particular foundation. SX means the direction of the reinforcements, and SY in the vertical direction. Here you can see what type of reinforcement they are, what type of concrete we have, and also here the levels are given. This is the top of the footing. We have ground floor, and FFL. What does FFL mean? It means finished floor levels. For the particular columns, what type of reinforcement we can have is, we will go and look at this. So for our column C1, C2, C3, C4, C1, C2, C4, C6 and C7, we have this type of reinforcement. For the other columns we have this, and for the particular C1 we have this type of reinforcements. But how do we read these reinforcements? What I can do is I can zoom in a little bit. So can you see there are 4 dots here? Can you see these dots? They denote the reinforcement. So there are 4 bars, 1 2 3 4 of diameter 16 mm, and then 2 bars. Can you see there are 2 circles here? These circles of 12 and then we have some stirrups here. Can you see the stirrups? This stirrups is of y8, it is of 8 and then this distance between the center to center is denoted here. We have some hook as well, and then for this particular thing we have three separate stirrups. One encloses all these rebars, and then we have separate sort of stirrups for these particular four pairs, two pairs, and then we have for C3 like we have this type of reinforcement, and then we have this particular reinforcement detail will be valid for the columns which are going from ground floor to the foundation, and then from ground floor to the terrace. We have a different type of column. They will be denoted the same, but they will go on top of each other, and then the dimensions and sort of the reinforcement detailing will be different. Can you see here? We have our top of footing, and we have our ground level, and we have FFL. We have the detailing of that here, and then for the beams, I'll show you the beams later a little, and we have slab dimensions here as well. Can you see the first floor slab layout and details? We have S1, S2, and here are all these slab reinforcement details. We'll be learning that in a little bit. Here we have our beam dimensions, and then we'll just have a look at this in the Revit. So guys, what you can do is you can create all the grids and levels. I hope that you all know how to do setup and how to set up the grids and levels. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be modeling this in the site level, because site has the depth of unlimited. Can you see VV? If you go VR and if you go VR here, it has unlimited depth here. And now what I'm going to be doing here is I'll go to VV, I'll go to S site. Can you see site here? I'm going to be using this plus option here. I'm going to be turning off the survey point here, and I'll click apply and OK. VV, let's do that again. S site, where is site? Here we have some site. I'll have all these things turned off. Okay, I'll click OK, and now it has been turned off. What I can do now is I can go simply to a structure. I'll have a column here. Let's go to columns. I'll have this type of column. We have some concrete. Yeah, we have some concrete column here. And then what I'm going to be doing is going to the structure and having an isolated footing and placing this footing right here. Okay, right. And I'll click escape once, escape again, and I'll go to 3D. Can you see this particular column? What I'm going to be doing here is going to the shaded portion here. But here, if I go here, what I have is I have a trapezoidal footing here. Can you see? We have a trapezoidal footing, right? So how do we create this particular footing in Revit? Because we do not have any trapezoidal footing. What I'm going to do here is I'll click on this. Can you see here? It's an editable family. So I'll click on edit family here, and then we are greeted with this view. Can you see? I'll just make it shaded, so you guys will be able to see it a little bit better. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to some reference levels. Can you see all the reference? We have some parameters here, equidistance parameters, etc. Now can you see all the parameters have been set by the Autodesk people. Now what I can do is I can go to let's go back. So can you see there are some parameters? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be changing this parameter according to my the length I want here. So this footing will be F1. I'll go back to my document here, and I'll create this particular column and this particular footing. So I'll go to let's say I'll create F1. Where is F1? Do we have some F1 here? I'm not able to see it. F1. Yeah, here is F1 and here is C3. So what I'm going to do is go to F1. We have some dimensions here. For example, the footing size is let us say, let's create F2 here. Let's create F2 1550 cross 1350. So what I'm going to be doing here is 1550, and then I'll just create a 1350 here. We'll create 1350 here, Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go into any of the elevations here, go to elevations, go to front elevation. Can you see we have some thickness here as well? What is the thickness? So since this is a trapezoidal footing, what I'm going to be doing here is go to this here and then select the thickness of this particular rectangular part, so that thickness comes out to be d minimum. So what is the d minimum here? It is 150. So what I'm going to be doing here is go to the Revit and go to here and go 150 here, and then this has been created. But now we have to create another sort of trapezoidal thing. For that, what I'm going to be doing here is go to the reference to here, create, and then use the blend option here. Can you see the blend option? I'm going to be selecting the corners and select this rectangular tool here and select the corners like this, and then I'll select the other rectangle that I have to select for the column. Now I'll click escape. Now this particular rectangle that we have, that sort of circle sitting inside this larger rectangle, this should be exactly matching with the dimensions of the column that we have. Can we go back to our this is C1, this is F2 and C1. So I'll go here and go to C1 here. Can you see, let's go to C1, and C1 is 200 cross 300. So I'll go back to my Revit here and I'll just simply give 300 here, 300, and then I'll give 200 here. Okay, I'll give 200 here. Okay, and then what I'm going to be doing is just select this, I'll just move it a little bit towards the center, and then use the move command. Can you see we have some move commands here? Go to this and click enter and select the center point here, and then sort of like that, use the move command again, select the center point and then merge it with that, and this has now been centered. So now what I can do here is I'll just what I messed up here, I'll just delete this and now click on edit top. So this wasn't on my mistake. So what I'm going to be doing here is 300 cross 200. So I'll be selecting, this is 200, right, and this must be 300 now. So I'll click 300 here, I'll select all this, I'll go to move command here and I'll select the middle point, I'll just align it with that, I'll select enter, I'll select the middle point here, I'll zoom in a little bit, I'll select the middle point, align it to the middle, and now this has been created. Now if I go to the front view, but we have another problem that we have here is, can you see this particular line should be on top of that? What I can do here is go to this and can you see start and extrusion? Here I'll give a value of 400. Can you see? Once 400, sorry, it's not going, minus 400 I mean. I'll just control Z it first, control Z it, and then I'll select it again and I'll go to here, cross 4, so 400, right? Remove constraints. It's not 400, and then I'll click minus here, minus 400, remove constraints now, right? And I'll go here 250, minus 250, right? Remove constraints, and then I'll start this particular from minus 250, so minus 250, sorry, 250, and then this should be 0, right? Now it is in the correct orientation. I'll give some material to this. I'll go here and then go to material, and they'll give some material category to it. Let's say concrete, CONC. We have some concrete. I'll go OK. Now this sort of matches. Now what happens? Okay, so next thing that we're going to be doing here is we're going to be placing some rebars on it. We'll go to the elevation tabs here and go to the north view. Can you see the north view? I've already placed some rebars. What I'm going to be doing is I'll just go here and go to the wireframe, okay, and then what I'm going to be doing here is going to be selecting this, and then we have an option here called Rebars. Can you see the option here called Rebars? I'll go to the option, I'll select this this dialog box sort of appears, and then I'll click OK here, and then we have a different sort of window appears here. We have different sort of Rebars that have appeared. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be first of all loading all different types of Rebars. I'll go to load shapes, and after that I'll just go to US, and then after that we have some can you see a Rebar, structural Rebar shapes here. I'll go open, and then I'll select the first one. I'll press the shift button, and then I'll select the last one, and I'll import all of them here. Since I've already imported, you can see all the Rebars here. Now there is a justification of this Rebars. So can you see an option here called placement? This placement, if we want to place near this cover which is closest to us, for example in this perspective, the side the side of this particular footing which will be closer to us will be near cover. Can you see in this particular box this sort of side is shaded, so it means the side which is nearer to us. The far side means the other side that we can't see in this particular view, and the work plane, it is the current work plane. If we want to place on the current work plane, we can place it here. Then we have other placement option here. Sorry about that. Where we this placement option here, can you see the placement? We can place parallel to cover, parallel to perpendicular to cover. For example, if the reinforcement direction is going into this plane, which we can see, we can place it on this perpendicular option. We have, if we want the reinforcement in this particular direction, I'll just show you. I'll select a let us go back to our drawing. Can you see the drawing here? We have this particular section of this particular footing. So we have this sort of bars here, reinforcement bar. We have bars. Can you see the dots? These means the bars are going into this particular footing, and then we have the reinforcement detailing here. Can we see 150 centimeter sentence, and the bar dimension is 10 mm. The concrete is M25. So first of all, let me place this particular bar. I'll just go back to my Revit. I'll just select this similar sort of bar here. Do we have some? Yeah, we have M02. So can you see this is a little bit bigger? Can we see some other types of bars? I'm not sure if we have it. I think it was, yeah, I'm not able to see it, guys. Yeah, M17, let's, yeah, M17 fits exactly right. So what I am going to be doing is I'll just simply click left click, and then this sort of Rebars get appears. But what happens is if I press escape once and I'll select this particular Rebar, can you see some options here? If I want to change this particular hook, I can do is I can simply change the hook here. Can you see we have some 90-degree hooks, etc, etc. This will work for this this straight bar, not for this bar. I'll just delete this in order to show you guys this. I'll just delete this particular bar. I'll go back here, I'll select this, I'll go to Rebar option here, I'll click open here, and then I'll just select the first one just to show you guys. First one, can you see this Rebar and place this Rebar? I'll just click escape once, I'll select this Rebar here, and then I'll go to hook at start. Can you see I can change the hooks here, standard 90. If I select this option and if I apply it, can you see the sort of hook has been created? And if I want some 180-degree hooks, I can also create some 180-degree hooks. If I want some 135-degree hooks, I can create that as well. I'll just Control Z it. So I'll just click on this hook, and then what happens is I can change the for example, first of all, first thing that we have to do is we'll change this to M10. Since we are using the 10 mm bars, the diameter of this bar gets changed. And now the next thing that we have to take care here is the justification and the layout rule. Can you see we have seen this rule earlier as well. I'll just go here, I'll click maximum spacing. It will give the spacing. You cannot see that right now, but what I'm going to be doing is selecting this maximum spacing option here and go to 150 here. 150 here, 150, right? So 150 sort of you cannot see that particular spacing right now, but where I got this spacing from, I got it right exactly from here. This is the 10 mm bar, and then we have some 150 mm center to center spacing. But how will I be able to see it? I'll just select this, I'll just go to the 3D option here. Can you see just go back here, and then I'll select wireframe here, and I'll just select fine here. Can you see that these bars have been placed in this particular orientation, and the spacing between two bars is 150 mm, right? So I'll go back here, and I'll go back to my drawing here, and then we have some 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 bars here that are going into this plane. What I'm going to be doing here is selecting this particular footing, going to Rebars here, and then selecting the first one. Can you see the first option here? And can you see I'm not able to put it into the plane so that I'll be able to see a dot. So I can go here and I can place it perpendicular to the cover. Can you see now? I will be able to place it. Right, I'll place the first one. I'll just make sure I'll click escape once, escape again. I'll click this one and I'll make it sure that it will be 10 mm. Right, I'll just select this one again and I'll click maximum spacing. I'll give a spacing of 150 150 here, and I'll apply it. Can you see the spacing has been applied? Now what I want is, since these are overlapping, I'll select this one and I'll simply drag it a little bit so that this will be able to get inside, and then I'll do the similar thing with this and I'll view it in 3D. Can you see the two sort of bars have been placed? If I want color combination, what I can do here is go to shaded. What I can do here is go to hidden line, and then I'll go to wireframe, and then I'll select the medium option. Can you see all the bars have been created here, and they're sort of shown here in the line option. What this option does is, if I want to change, for example, I'll select this particular reinforcement, I'll change it to a different color, let's say 12 mm. It will be shown in completely different color. Can you see it has been changed to a different sort of color? So next step we're going to be doing is we're going to be selecting the
next part you have to create is
sorry. Okay, some disturbance there. What I'm going to be doing is, now I'll go to I'll select this one. I'll go to side view first of all. I'll go to side view. I'll select I'll just zoom in a little bit, and then I'll select the fine option here,
we have a
and then let's select wireframe here. Can you see all these things we can see? Okay, let's keep it shaded for now. What I'm going to be doing here is, I'll select this column, and then I'll go to Rebar. Can you see the Rebar option has been appeared, and I'll select this particular Rebar here, and I'll go back to my sort of this document, and then since the column is C2, what I'm going to be doing here is, or it is C1, whatever, it doesn't matter, since it all has the same detailing here. Okay, foundation to the ground floor, right? Exactly. So what I'm going to be doing here is, we have four sort of Rebars of diameter 16 mm, right? What I'm going to be doing is using 4 and 16, right, and then I'll go back to my sort of section view here, and can you see the Rebar sort of goes like this and sort of bends bends towards the left and right here. So what I'm going to be doing here is, I'll just select the Rebar here and I'll click it here, and then what I'm going to be doing is, I'll go to any of the elevation views here. Let's go to north view. I'm able to see that particular Rebar. What I'm going to be doing here is, first of all, select the correct type of Rebar. Is it correct? I may be able to change it later. I'll select edit sketch here. I'll just open any of the particular view that I want, east or west view. I'll select open, and then can you see this Rebar? I'll just move it a little bit downwards up to here, I guess. And then what I'm going to be doing is, I'll select this align option here. I'll select this, and then I'll just move it across. Can you see it doesn't give a 90-degree angle because your Rebars can't move at 90 degree. I'll select tick here, and this I'll just go to fine here, and I'll go to wireframe here. Can you see this sort of Rebar has been created in this orientation? I'll select this one. I can move it up or down. I'll also be able to move it from here. Can you see I can move it anywhere I want. Let's keep it at that, and then what I'm going to be doing is going to go to side view again. I'll go to side view, and then I'll simply go to wireframe here, and then I'll select this one. I'll just mirror it across. I'll just use the mirror option here. I'll just mirror it across this particular axis. So can you see this has been created? I'll select this one, and I'll select this one, and then mirror it across as well using this command here. Just make sure we have center line here. Okay, and these sort of things have been created. If I go escape once and then I'll view it in 3D. This is not the file. Here can you see different sort of things have been created, sort of reinforcement have been created for this particular column. I'll go back here and I'll check what type of reinforcement I want 16 mm and then 12 mm as well. So I'll make sure, is this 16 mm? It is not. I'll select all four and then go here. I'll go to 16 and they have been created. What I'm going to be doing now is go to site view and then select this column and go to Rebar again and then select this one and what type of, it is 12 mm, right? So I'll go 12 here and then I'll place it exactly sort of here, and then I'll escape it once. I'll select this particular Rebar. I'll go to edit sketch. I'll go to any of the elevation views here. So I'm not able to see it. I've selected the wrong elevation, because if I were, I will be able to sort of move it like this. Okay, let's keep the middle ones like that. I'll just drag it down here and then simply do it like this, and I'll click take option here. Can you see? And now I'll go to my site view here and then I simply select this one. I'll simply mirror it across here and it has been mirrored. I'll just view it in 3D now. Exactly, this has been created. So now the next thing is creating stirrups. I'll just go to the site view here and select this column again. I'll go Rebar now and I'll select some stirrups. Can we have some stirrups here? Let me search all of them. I do not have the correct stirrups. Yeah, here, let's check if this works. Where is it? Placement, right? So this is not, this is a single, right? I don't need this one. Yeah, here you can check this one, maybe. Yeah, let's place it. For now I'll click escape once. I'll select this one. I'm able to move it a little bit towards this side. Let us make sure that we have, it is 8 mm bars and 150 center to center. Just go back here, we click 8 here. Do we have 8? Yeah, we have 8 here. I'll simply move it a little bit here towards this side, a little bit towards this side, on this side as well. Sorry about that. I'll just move it, try to move it a little bit here and then a little bit sort of here. And now if I want to change the hook, I'll just select this one and can you see all the stirrup hooks here? Hook rotation and treatment. Be able to select this 90° maybe. No, I'll just Control Z it. I'll select this one. Yeah, here if I select any of them, the particular element which gets selected, can you see this one? Not, maybe. Can you see you can change the sort of dimensions here. You can select this one and select this one and change the dimensions here. Can you see if I change the B1, let us change it to, let us say 200 and apply it. Can you see this sort of thing has changed? There are different sort of things we can change. Control Z it for now. Control Z it for now. Let us change the, let's change the D1. Let's see which one gets changed. 200. So you can change accordingly according to your project. What I'm going to be doing now for now is I'll just select this one. I'll go to justification. I'll select the maximum spacing. I'll select 5, or was it 150? I think it was 150. I'll apply it and then let us see if it is 150. It is no, yes it is. And then I'll go to any of the other views. Can you see the views? I'll just make sure that this stirrup start from this particular location and then all the stirrups are of the right size, right? And then yeah, sort of like this. Let's view it in 3D. Yeah, So the reinforcement for this particular footing and this column has been created. We can view it in fine as well. So can you see all the reinforcements, right? So this is it for reinforcement for columns and foundations. Next we're going to be studying the reinforcement of beams. We have two types of beam, plinth beam, and then we have some structural beams as well. Then we have some reinforcements for slabs as well. We'll learn all of that. So guys, what I've done is I've just copied this particular beam and column and footing that we created earlier, and I've placed it here and here. We can see that in particularly in side view. Can you see these two footings and the third one here as well? So I'll just go back to my document here and see next what we have to do. We have to make this plinth beam here. Can you see we have some plinth beams denoted as PB. We can see the details of those particular plinth beams here. It is denoted here as PB1. There is some typo here. So we have the dimension of this particular plinth beam is 400 cross 200 cross 400. What I'm going to be doing here is I'll just create a beam, simply beam here. And do we have some yeah, we have some 400 cross 200. Do we have some 400 cross 200? We don't have some, so I'll just select this one and then select the edit type, and I'll just duplicate it and rename it 1 for now. I'll just 200 cross 400, select OK. Now I'll just simply select on the middle of this particular column and then extend it like all the way across to this particular column. So it has been created, but I'm not able to see it particularly well. What I'm going to be doing is going to 3D. It has not been placed at the correct location. What I'm going to be doing here is I'll just give it a start offset of 700 for now. You can check these particular levels of this particular beam in the document. Can you see we have some so here we can see our plinth beam. Can you see the plinth beam B, right? Plinth beam, it has been placed 150 mm sort of above ground level, and then the ground level itself has been placed at this particular distance from the FFL and the top of the footing. So now let's place some rebars on this particular beam. We have our two rebars particularly of 16 mm. Let's place them first. What I'm going to be doing it is I'm not able to if I go to any of the, for example, I go to any of the east views, can you see I have to see through these reinforcement of this particular column. So what I'm going to be doing to solve this problem is I'll just take a section here. Can you see we have a section here? I'll just move this section a little bit closer and go to the view, and now I can see this particular beam. I'll just select this and select fine here and select wireframe here. Alright, correct, and I'll select this beam and I'll go to rebar now, and I simply select this particular rebar. Right, it's not placing correctly, so I'll just make the placement perpendicular to the cover. I'll place the first one, place the second one, I'll place the third one, I'll place the fourth one. I'll go back, I'll select all of them by pressing Control, and then I'll check what particular we have 16 mm. So I'll just click 16 here. It is already 16 mm. So now what, I'll just select this column again, sorry, this beam again, and then go to rebar and just go to do we have some stirrups here? Maybe, yeah, we have some stirrups here. Can you see we have empty one? Just click on it, and I'm not able to place it. I'll just go here, I'll place it parallel to the cover. I'm still not able to place it. I'll just go to parallel to work plane, still not able to place it. Parallel to right, let me make sure this has been selected, and now I'll just check this one, not able to place it. You can simply go with all the settings, all the options until this sort of stirrup appears here. Let me check all of the settings now. Not able to place still, not able to place still, and now I'll just select this work plane, not able to place now, not able to place now, not able to place, and this I'll check this one, not able to place, not able to place, and then this one not able to place, and then for cover not able to place, not able to place, not able to place. What is the problem? So guys, here we have selected the current work plane, and then we have to select here parallel to the work plane. I'm able to place it now. I'll simply do this. I'll click escape once. I'll select this. I'll select the correct I think we have 8 mm diameter bars. It has been placed correctly. I'll just go click here, and I'll go to justification now, layout tool. I mean, I'll just go to maximum spacing. Let's give a spacing here of 150, right? Okay, Control Z, 150, right? Something wrong with my keyboard, right? Okay, I'll click apply. It has been created. Now what I can do is I'll just go to 3D and check if this has been correctly placed. It has been placed. I'll just drag it. You guys don't have to do this dragging, because if we drag this, it will clash with the reinforcement of this beam. You have to create it separately, but for now, in order to show you guys, I'll simply just drag these things so as to save the time, right? You guys can just like we created the reinforcement for this particular beam, we can create it for this beam. So sort of like this. If I want to see the color, what I can do is I'll go to medium here. I'll see the color color coded accordingly to the dimension of this particular labors. Now let's create the beams. For that, we'll just simply go to our document here. We'll move to beam section. Can you see here? Let me scroll down. Can you see here the dimensions of every particular beam is given here, along with the naming of these particular beams. So let's select this B18 and B19 beams. These are two beams. Because it sort of looks like the orientation we created on. No, actually this is placed this way, and these two beams are placed this way. But for now, let us say that I have created it on the Revit. These things are like this. Let's assume for a moment, right? So B18 and B19, these are 200 cross 450, 200 cross 350, right? Let's create these first. I'll just go to site view, and then I'll select. What I can do is I simply select the beam here, and then the first beam is, we have some beams. What is the dimension here, right? 200 cross 450. Let's place it here like this, and then we have second beam exactly, right? So I'll just place it from this place to this place. They will have been placed at the wrong orientation. For that, we can simply go here and then go here, and then I think this is 3 meters, so I'll just simply give an offset here of 3000 with 3000, and for this 3000 3000, and I'll just apply it. And sorry, I have created 300 here, right? 3000, and select this one here, 3000 again. Okay, now this has been created perfectly. So what I can do now is place the rebars. I'll just go to what view here is, it is south view, so I'll just go to south view. Now what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to go to my document here and just correlate between these two beams, B18 and B19. Let's find them here. Here we can see B18 and B19. Can you see, guys? Let me make it a little bit. Can you see? We have some reinforcement here. Can you see this particular reinforcement 2? It is 16 mm. There are two rebars like this. They go extend all the way to this column here. So I'll just create this one. I'll just go here. I'll select this one. I go to Rebars, and what I can do here is I can sketch these particular reinforcements. I'll just first of all, am I able to sketch it? Sorry, let's select this particular and then go to Rebar and then select the sketch option. I'll select this one. Now it will show me pick a work plane. Can you see? I'll just tab it so that the entire beam gets selected, and select this one. I'll go to this option here. I'll just zoom in, and then let us create it like this, right? I'll just extend it all the way to this particular beam, and then here I can simply do it like this, right? Exactly. I'll click escape once and select this. Can you see this has been created? I'll click escape once again. I'll select this one. I'll just give a 2 here, right? Okay, let's leave it at that. What I can do is I can go to any other reinforcement we have, right? Like this sort of thing, and then these sort of things. This is 2 of 12. Make sure this is 16, right? So here we have 2 of 12. Go back here, sort of we have 11, 30, and then sort of 560. I'll just go here. I'll just create a architecture. We have some model lines here. So how much was that? 560 and 1130. 560. So here 560, right? Escape. 1130. exactly like this. Sorry, like this. Okay, I'll select escape now. I'll just go to I'll just select any of these beams now. I'll just go to Rebars now. I'll just make sure this one has been correctly placed perpendicular to parallel to cover. I'm not able to select it. Okay, current work plane, right? And then not able to select it, not able to select it, not able to select it. Now go over there and change the placement to, do we have some okay, let's create them like this. Not able to place it, still not able to place it. Let's go to the far cover and now let us check. Yeah, you can do it like this, or what I prefer is I'll just select this one and then I'll just go to Rebar and then simply draw it like I drew the other ones. I'll just click escape once. Okay, Rebar. Okay, I'll just go to placement here. I'll just go to sketch. Now I can sketch this one. I'll just simply do it like this, or perhaps let's take a look at this one first. It sort of goes in this. Okay, right. Okay, got it. So it is, yeah. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'll just select it like this and then go across and then sort of like this, right? So now I'll just delete these model lines and go to the top view. Can you see the side view? Now I'm able to see this thing and the other one. Where is the other one? Okay, I'll just do one thing. I'll just go to select. Is it selected? Right, not able to see this one. I'll just go to manage. Sorry, what I can do here is let us escape once. I'll just go to modify. I'll just select this one now and I can simply mirror it across. This one has been created. So like this you can create all the Rebars. Can you see? It's just drawing, and we can place the stirrups like we placed in other beams, and then we have to do it according to this this dimensions and these sort of Rebar diameters, etc, etc. So next thing that we have is our slab. For example, to view our slab, what we can do is move on to the last page. We have two types of slabs, slab S1 and S2. Here you can see them denoted in these particular areas. This is S1, this particular area is S1 here, S1, S2 here. Can you see it has different sort of thicknesses as well, and differences of sort of long spans and short span sort of reinforcements are different. And here we have a sunken slab. Can you see the slab which is placed slightly lower to the first floor level, so as to incorporate all the pipings. So here you have to place the sunken slab. I'm not going to show you all these because it is just very basic. So what I've done is I'll just show you guys how to create the reinforcement. I've just created a slab here. You can simply go to structure here. I'll go to floors and create a structural floor, or you can go to slab here as well. I'll just select this one, and then if I select this one, I can add the reinforcement in the traditional way as well. But what I like to do is, can you see if I select this one, we have an area option here. We can create all the reinforcements at once for our slabs. I'll just select this area reinforcement. I'll just go to the side view now. I'll just select the boundary in which I want this reinforcement to be in. Let us say I'll just want this corner. I'll just select the rectangular option first, and this I'll just select the area which I want my reinforcement to be in. Can you see right? So now there's a major direction. What does major direction mean? Can you see these two lines? So this way, this sort of direction in the sort of let's say it horizontal direction for the screen is our long span. If you want to change it, we can simply go to major direction and tap this line, and then this line sort of thing, sort of vertical orientation will be for our long spans. And I'll just I can change all the diameters for the top major bars, for the top minor bars, that is the top longitudinal bars, or sort of long span bars, and then short span bars here. if I want to change it to 6 mm. If I want to change the minor bars on the bottom side of the slab, I can change it. If I want to change the hook treatments here, can you see I can add some hooks here, and I can change all the settings here. I'll click apply now, and I'll click tick here. It has been created. Can you see it has been already created? If I go to 3D, it has been created for the top one as bottom. We selected hook here, so you can select all the hooks accordingly. If you want, here I can change this hook to 180 degree. It will get changed. For the downwards, I can also change it, let's say 90 degree. I can change it 90 degree. Everything here side, it has changed here to the 90 degree. If I want to change a particular one sort of rebar, what I can do is I'll just select this and go to edit bars, and then now I'll be able to select any particular bar and then change it accordingly. For example, here I can change this particular bar. After selecting this, I'll just change it here, or I can use the maximum spacing here as well, rule here as well, or I can use the fixed number spacing rule as well. Just click finish here. I'll just go to side, and we have a 300 mm center spacing. EW means east west, so sort of like this you can create the rebars for the roofs. So I already have done this. I'll just if I could able to show you my project. So can you see that, guys, I have done all this assignment. I'll just go to 3D view now. Can you see all the things have been created according to the plan for our assignment? I've created all these footings, I've created columns, I've created the plinth beams, I've created the top beams as well. I've created slabs, different types of slabs. I've created the sunk slab as well. If I could show you in the shaded portion, can you see we have sort of sunk here? Yeah, in I think in wireframe, and then I'll go to medium. Can you see we have sort of sunk here? Maybe this beam, yeah, we have sunk here. Can you see this is the sunken slab, and this is the other slab, and we have some other things coded according to the color and according to the document that we have. All the grids have been placed at the correct level as well. We have some sort of hanging cantilever slabs here as well, etc, etc. So this way you can create a particular model. If you want to model some rear bars and some other things, custom things, we can do as that as well. And then the next thing we're going to be studying is our bar bending schedule and our rebar schedule.